Clelo downstairs early on. There's a pretty
Venner
apparent.
and Steele, isn't it?
Yes.
Venner's off the ground.
Yes, Venner and Steele.
Would Harris be in the ruck then?
Yes, it is. No, it's Hepburn. Harris is still at full forward. So Ian Fairley's now at centre half forward for North. VFL game from WA. He was actually the umpire of the year in 1985 in WA.
So eventually the second quarter can get underway. Hepburn's gone into the ruck for North Melbourne and gets it out first too. Venner is on the bench. Ablett, who started on the forward line, kicked the first goal of the game, now back in defence. This kick up towards half forward. Troy over it for Geelong. And whipped away by Martin up towards half forward, close to the boundary line. And out it goes for a boundary throw-in.
Ian Fairley coming onto the ground for the start of the second quarter, centre half forward for North Melbourne.
And doing the ruck work with Boss. Boss gets the tap out. Down in front, Clarkson's kick towards half forward. Gathered by Couch. Slips as he kicks. Ball goes into the centre. Now a chance for North Melbourne through Spargo. He slips at the crucial stage. Bairstow's nearly caught by Larkin. Slips the tackle and gets the kick away to the wing on the outer side. Cameron is helped out by Scott. He's good enough to come back and get it again though, David Cameron rather, and he kicks up towards the full forward position, but a good mark taken for North Melbourne by Smith. 50-metre penalty. The Geelong player just perhaps restricting Smith from taking his feet, and the umpires are right onto it. 50 metres brings Smith right into the centre of the ground. He's kicked to the half-forward flank member's side. Fairly constructive. Larkin inside 50, goes for goal and misses.
Unusual for Matthew Larkin to miss from that position. Maybe a little tired after his jostling.
So the margin back to 21 points in favour of the Cats. Mark Yates kicking in, not too sure which way to go. Goes for it long. Ablett, best mark in the competition. Oh, Cracker came over the top with a cracking attempt at a mark. Tapped by Boss, but the ball goes out of bounds and we'll have a throw in about 35 metres around from goal. North in attack. North came back in the middle stages of the first quarter, but Geelong did all the scoring towards the end. Spargo spins into a tackle, comes to Buckley, only 30 metres out, blazes and goals.
Well, Ben Buckley, an opportunist today, being taken up the ground in following Mark Bairstow, who's down for that throw in there and finishing off, having kicked 2 points early in the game. Here we see on the replay Paul Spargo being tackled, ball spilling free, and Ben Buckley throwing the ball onto his foot, actually putting through a torpedo goal.
Sensational tap out by Harris though, to get the ball out into the open to give him a chance to have a crack at it. So back in the centre, the difference is 15 points in Geelong's favour. North Melbourne get the tap out from the centre. McCrabb's under pressure. Love. Ball still running free. Gary Hocking. Jimmy Cracker. Buckley taps it on. Jimmy Cracker's there. Gets the ball out wide. Chance for Chandler. Chandler's hook kick around the corner. Marking contest about 30 metres out from the North Melbourne goal. Cracker fumbles at a crucial stage. He's pulled off the football and he didn't have it. And Jimmy Cracker will take the free kick. And if this guy just has eyes for the football, one of the most talented players playing the game.
And I was going to say, in my experience in the past with North Melbourne, if a Jim did get reported, if in fact he has been today, his football from there on in improved a lot. He just put his head down and backside up and just charged for the ball, and that's certainly what he did there.
Well, great stuff. Can kick a goal here for North. Drop punt. straight and good for a goal to North Melbourne. Jimmy Cracker kicks his second, and the difference is only 9 points, so it's a match here at the MCG.
John Kennedy, certainly in his time at North Melbourne, has instilled a great competitive spirit there. They're lacking a little for height in some of their key positions and in the ruck, but their competitiveness can never be questioned. And certainly that's what Malcolm Blight has improved in Geelong's play. So it's a very competitive game at this stage.
Bounce back in the centre. Tim Burke, who was outstanding in the first quarter with 7 kicks in his first quarter of league football. Clarkson did well. Look at the courage and skill shown there. Schwass bounces off a tackle of Hocking. Drives it back towards full forward. Thump to the front to McCrabb. Finds Couch. Had to get rid of it in a hurry and covered good distance with a kick. Cracker on views. Free kick here to Jim Cracker again.
Amazing, isn't it? Gets recorded, then he gets the umpire's votes for free kicks.
The kick by Cracker, out very wide to half-forward flank. German from behind, good mark.
It's been in very good form for North Melbourne over the pre-season period.
2 kicks to goal from there. He gets a lead up the ground. Kick dropped a bit short. Harris took a week to turn around. Love tries one off the ground. Great pick-up, Schwass. Centering kick. Chance here for North. Chandler.
Ian Fairley.
Fairley. Well, what a comeback this has been at the start of the second quarter by North Melbourne. Straight kick here and having them 3 points behind, and they started the term 22 points down. Fairley from point-blank range gets the goal.
Well, Drew, I was a little surprised that North Melbourne actually started with Ian Fairley on the bench. They elected to play their smaller players. But now Fairley starting at centre half forward and taking a very fine mark there. Good, strong upper body work and a very straight kick for goal. But good play early on by Wayne Schwass to follow up the ball from the boundary line. Centre the ball there from a very acute angle, and Ian Fairley finishing off.
So in 6 minutes of football in the second term, North Melbourne have kicked 3-1. Geelong have not scored. Cats leading by 3 points. Good contesting by Hepburn. Comes out through Larkin. Kick to half forward. Good mark to Hocking. Hocking to steady the Cats down. Drop punt kick. 50 metres out towards the wing. Hepburn over the top. Bairstow's there. Does well. Holds his footing. Gets the hand pass away. The running player, Scott, who's followed the ball all the way up. Hand pass over the top looking for Stoneham. Good tap on. Here goes Troy for goal. It's close. It's a goal. First goal to Troy, and the Cats just creep away again.
A fine tap on there, Ian, wasn't it, from Barry Stoneham? Set that up again, and Troy getting the ball here. Tap on here from Stoneham to Troy. Difficult angle out there, and he did very well to kick a goal.
Well, plenty to excite the fans here today. A few dust-ups in the first quarter. Some open football and great weather in front of a big crowd. Tap comes back to Bairstow. Right down the centre he goes for Brownless, who tries to work his way to the front, gets swamped. Comes to Hinkley. His snap for goal is offline and out on the full. Ken Hinkley, who could never quite come to grips with the city way of life when he played at Fitzroy. Ackley kicks in. Just clears the 50. Bit of danger here. Well, but well done by Schwass. McCrabb doing well and was grabbed when he didn't have it, and will get the free kick.
There's Jason Love playing from behind there, trying to knock the ball over McCrabb's head, but infringed around the face.
Good defender, Austin McCrabb. Not a bad kick either. Right to the front of the goal square. Nearly a mark to Brownless. Play on. Scott off the ground. Kicks it across the face. The ball is still in play. Gathered by Ackley, and North Melbourne will come out of trouble. And with rebound football, this could go the length of the field. The pass is good and finds Chandler. He's got a player in support further afield. Or caught with Spargo. His hand pass is astray. Picked up by Couch. Couch thumps it back into Geelong's scoring zone. And the mark is taken by Troy. Troy, just 50 metres from goal. kicks it into the goal square. Brownless, it bounces and Law helps it through for a rush behind.
As you called it, Ian, that's where sides get caught out on the rebound. Firstly, Geelong as North bounded forward, and then North, with one mistake, found themselves in a spot of bother.
Longmire kicks it in, half back outer side, and basically an uncontested mark taken by David Cameron. So perhaps a little too far out to score, but when we predict these things, we're often proven wrong. Cameron's kick will drop short. In the front of the square, no mark taken. Struggle for possession. Longmire gathered by Morgan. He can't break clear. Russell's caught with the football, and he will be penalised right on that last line of defence for North Melbourne. The free kick to the North Melbourne side. It comes wide to Smith. Smith's kick to the advantage of his teammate lumbering after, and Hepburn gets his kick away towards half forward. Marking contest. It goes through all players. Gathered well by Clarkson. Hand pass back. Larkin. The bounce is very unkind for Larkin. Clarkson in there again. Fighting hard. Goes after it again. Chance now for Geelong to come clear. Oh, Denham crashed to the ground by Cracker. He'll be sore and sorry. Play goes on. Larkin tries the hand pass wide. Chance now for Spargo. A rush kick for goal right in front of the square. Geelong defence under enormous pressure. Boss gets it out to Buse. Buse steadies. His left foot pass is okay. Ablett pushed off the football by Larkin. Matthew Larkin slips at the crucial stage. Ablett kicks it out of his hands and takes it away for Geelong. 2 bounces to Gary Ablett, and he steadies, kicks it up towards half forward to mark to Stoneham.
Great play by Ablett out of defence. Stoneham from the wing to half forward. Not a great kick. Well, it could be a bit lucky. Brownless would gather. Hooks back for goal but misses. Bill Brownless, 2 goals, 2 today. Margin 11 points in Geelong's favour after North got within 3 points. German looking for options up the ground. And I think the umpire's no-balled him. Here he's come out of the square to take that kick. He's going to ball it up in the square.
You don't often see that.
Looked okay to me.
He certainly finished out of the square after the kick, but still the umpire's in a better position.
Now, here's a chance for Geelong if they can get it out of this. Scott there applying the tackle, and the ball has gone through for a minor score.
So North Melbourne making a bit of a rush. Geelong steadying, and the Cats leading by 12 points. Longmire definitely stays within the square. The ball comes to the back. Swash. Plenty of open space in front of him. Goes for the kick into the half-forward area. Cracker takes the ball to ground. Comes out the back now. Larkin. Hand pass. Fairley. Hard up against the boundary line. In the pocket. Goes for goal. Across the face and out of bounds. So we'll have a boundary throw in right up against the behind post in front of the main scoreboard here at the MCG, which shows that Cats leading by 12 points. They're 7-6, North Melbourne 5-6. Ruck contest with Harris and Yates. It goes over the back. Chance for Couch. He gets the ball out, kicks it back into the centre. The bounce very unkind for all players. Morgan can't control it. Martin's in there for North Melbourne, struggling hard. He's helped out by Law, and Law thumps North Melbourne back into attack to half forward. Nearly a mark to Ablett. Perhaps tried to make it a little more spectacular than it should have been. Kick now up towards the half-forward position. Ackley gathers. Left foot kick. Goes for the safety of the boundary line. McCarthy's there for North Melbourne. Just a youngster. Gets the hand pass back to Chandler. McCarthy again. Ackley there helps his teammate out. And Ackley's pass to half-forward. McCrabb nearly takes a miraculous one-hander. It's been paid. Perhaps don't know really whether it was the mark or the free kick. His other arm being held by the North Melbourne player. Now it comes clear. German's kick back to half forward. Good effort there by Fairley. Now it comes clear to Cameron. Cameron's kick to half forward. Nearly a mark to Geelong. Hinkley breaks clear, gets his left foot to the ball, high to the full forward position. Brownless off the ground. Now a kick off the ground by Buckley puts it through for a behind to the Geelong side. So 7-7 plays 5-6, Geelong by 13 points.
Under a bit of pressure, the North Melbourne defence. Just about the last 3 scores for Geelong have been rushed behind. Kick in by Longmire. Big pack gathers, comes to Cameron, front of the pack, bounces inside 50, runs away from the defence, will go all the way and kicks the goal.
David Cameron certainly showing a ton of speed there, backing himself, running away from the North Melbourne defenders, bouncing the ball, and not such an easy goal to kick as you're running in at that pace with a couple of defenders running at you. Just in the replay here, 1 bounce, 2 again, a 3rd bounce, steadies, and kicks as a couple of players run at him, and it's a good goal.
Actually, he's, over the years, he's many times got a bag of goals, and yet started today in defence.
So Geelong just opening up that advantage again, 19 points. North Melbourne trying to get the ball clear. Couch is there at half-back. David Cameron dispossessed by Chandler. Play goes on. Now chance for Boss, right in the centre of the ground. Long drop punt kick to full forward. Nearly a mark to the Cats. Picked up by Stoneham. Snapshot for goal. Just offline. So Barry Stoneham, a very active player for Geelong at centre half forward, and improved over the last couple of seasons.
North Melbourne, another change again. Darren Steele back on. Jason Love off the ground.
Kick in. Schwass. Stoneham breaks the tackle. Inside 50. He'll go for goal. Offline again. So within a minute, Stoneham kicks successive behinds for Geelong.
But good game, 2 marks, 5 kicks, 4 hand passes at centre half forward for Stoneham, and we're only midway through the 2nd quarter. Ackley kicks in for the far side. Clears the pack. Morgan first back there. Clever kick. Hocking, centre of the ground. Cats leading by 21 points. They'd led by 22 at quarter time. Kick by Hocking. 35 metres from goal. Rovers needed. Martin thumps the ball out of defence. Hand pass comes back to McCrad. Short pass to Scott. He leaves it for Russell, who takes the mark just inside 50.
Good play from McCrad there. Drew just steadied, waited for an option, and he had, in fact, 2, but elected to find Dwayne Russell. Going for his 2nd goal.
Maybe he kicks the ball further than Scott.
Can kick it a long way. Kicks from right on 50. Needs the accuracy. Gets it. His 2nd.
Geelong, quite a potent forward line, even with Gary Ablett down on the replay here. It's a good mark, a good pass from the first place from Ross McCrab, and a good long 50-metre goal, as Drew called it. And Dwayne Russell being very effective up there on the forward line.
So Geelong steadying, attempting to break clear again. There's a free kick being picked out of it, and the player will have to go back and kick from behind his mark. It's Russell right in the centre. Another long kick by Dwayne Russell to within goal scoring distance. Chance for Stoneham. His hand pass wide. Martin's kick off the ground. Chance for Chandler for North Melbourne. No one really to kick to, so the short chip pass, look for Martin. Russell intercepts, playing well, Dwayne Russell. Kicks it around the corner. Hepburn takes the mark for North Melbourne between half-back and full-back. He plays on quickly, brings the play over to the members' side. Mark there to Longmire. Hand pass over the top. He's got Spargo in support. Spargo with 15 or 20 metres in front of himself. Now he kicks the ball towards centre half forward, inside the 50-metre line. A good mark taken for North Melbourne from behind by Fairley. And that was a really good mark, because the opposition player was Mark Boss, who usually keeps himself nice and tidy at half-back for the Cats. Fairley within scoring distance. Shot for goal, drop punt, not bad, looks okay from here, and North Melbourne kick their 6th.
And that's Ian Fairley's second goal for North Melbourne in this term. He's only been on the ground in this second quarter. It was a fine mark, as Ian called it, from behind. Yeah, Mark Boss, yes, he's a very strong player from the front, but Ian Fairley judging that just slightly better. John Kennedy would prefer him to play in front, but effective enough from behind then, finishing off well.
Bounce back in the centre. Burke beaten by Longmire. Been a bit of a difference in the ruck in this second quarter because Burke was outstanding in the first term. There's a North Melbourne free kick to Spargo. Venner off the ground for North in this quarter. Kicked by Spargo to full forward. Thump down, but straight in the arms of Fairley, and he goes for number 3 and was a centimetre off it.
Seems to have livened up that North Melbourne half-forward line anyway, doesn't he, Ross?
Yes, he's a player who reads the game very, very well. Got a very good football brain.
Yates kicks it into the practice cricket pitch area. Morgan takes the mark. Forced to kick with the right foot. The kick slightly smothered, close to the line it goes over. So we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half-forward favouring North Melbourne. Geelong 9-9, North Melbourne 6-7. And just 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Fairly entertaining game at the MCG. Good ruck work by North Melbourne. Germans kick high. Steele at the back can't mark. Jimmy Cracker, brilliant roving. Gets the hand pass wide. Larkin right on the 50-metre line. Goes bang with the drop punt. And hooks it just a little too far. So another behind on the scoreboard to North Melbourne. 6-8 plays 9-9.
Matthew Larkin, it's his second point for the game. As I mentioned before, normally a very accurate kick for goal. Interesting duel between he and Gary Ablett.
Kick in by Yates towards the far side. Longmire having a run on the ball for North. Comes down to Morgan. Off the left boot over the centre. Stoneham went in to make it a contest. Crumbs come to Bairstow. He hooks up to the 50-metre line. Denham, Smith spoils from behind, and the ball goes out of play. So the margin 19 points in favour of Geelong, and we've got just over 8 minutes left to half-time. Huge pack around this for the boundary throw-in. Law actually getting his fist to it, going for the boundary line. McCarthy, and out once more.
So half-forward flank for Geelong. Tim Burke doing the ruck work. Harris there for North Melbourne. Harris perhaps gets the tap out there. Couch can't break clear. Chance for Buckley. Kick off the ground by Spargo. North Melbourne out of trouble. German to Clarkson. Clarkson short kick. There's a player on his own Fairley. He elects to go for the hand pass. Chandler over the top to centre half forward. Steele back to German. Steadies. He's run a fair distance. Goes for goal and puts it through. What a magnificent goal by Peter German, and given every opportunity by the umpire to steady and slam it through.
I think you're right there, Ian. He perhaps did take a couple of steps too many. However, the umpire allowed that. It was a good goal considering he stumbled. The handball out to from Darren Steele. Stumbled a little, then steadied. A good goal sense from Peter German. And a goal that North Melbourne certainly needed, leaving them now 13 points behind.
Goal of the match. What a build-up. Back in the centre. Neither ruckman getting a hand to it. Couch goes back to Ablett. Good distance from a standing start to half forward. Oh, Stoneham, what a mark. Brilliant mark by Barry Stoneham.
Good, strong mark.
10 possessions. Brownless. Oh, should have taken the mark. Back to Brownless. Gets another go at it. Back to Couch. He's good off the left boot. Close, just offline.
Well, I would think that Malcolm Blight would be very happy with Barry Stoneham's effort at centre half forward so far this year. Very hard-working, competitive fellow, and he's got his hands in the air. Very hard man to stop from marking.
David Ackley to the members' side. No mark taken. Little kick by Smith to McCarthy, off to German, and North Melbourne will go into attack. German's got a bit of space. goes for the kick up towards the 50-metre line, nearly a mark to Hepburn. He's done a good tackle, holding the ball. Yes, says the umpire. The Geelong player had plenty of time there to get rid of the football. And the free kick to Hepburn. Hepburn right on 50 metres, goes for the drop punt into the square. And a mark to North, fairly. Well, we've been praising McCrabb's form so far in the match, and there was a great opportunity for him there to punch. He did attempt, but fairly a little bit too good on this occasion. So he's only 2 metres from goal. Makes no mistake. Fairley kicks his third, and North Melbourne certainly in the ball game.
Yes, he's brought some life to the forward line. You mentioned earlier on, Ian, and the third goal for the quarter. Mark Hepburn there taking a mark, and it's the sort of mark that North Melbourne would expect of Mark Hepburn. He actually only played 10 games last season for North, and a season's tally or career tally of 16. Bit injury prone, but they'd like to see him play a lot better and more consistently.
North actually winning the hit out, 16-11. Could have had odds against that. Harris wins in the middle again. Further one off the ground. Cameron puts it back for Geelong to half forward. Stoneham underneath it. Morgan charges after it. Schwass knocks out of defence. Chance for McCarthy. Beautiful pass. Spargo.
Good play that McCarthy.
He's had a few runs on the forward line. Saw him kick a goal last year from about 70 metres in Perth. Comes to the back. Another chance for North here. Jim Cracker picks up. Caught ball and all. Umpire says play on. Boss. Still within scoring distance. Fairly hacked at that one. Clarkson over the ball, and the umpire will ball it up, and I think to save injury.
Yes, and Malcolm Blight making a very quick change. Timberg off the ground, and Schultz on the ground for Geelong.
Oh, clever by Cracker. Smith, the defender. Nobody back there. It bounces for a goal.
For Ross Smith, that's his first goal for the game. He's actually named as an entertained player prior to the game. He's a state defender, very good player, very mobile, and for a half-back flanker, takes a very good mark as a long kick, and a demonstration there of a good skill on the wrong side of his body. And a clever kick from Ross Smith.
Wasn't a bad tap out from little number 3 either, was it?
Yes.
Hey, that was slick work, that.
Good vision.
Great to see the skills shown by Jimmy Cracker. North Melbourne certainly getting the better of the duels in the centre. Kick off the ground by McCarthy. Chance for Steele. Steele's short pass is good. And the mark, there's a 50-metre penalty, surely. He'd taken the mark seconds before.
Well, I tend to agree with it, particularly if they're going to be consistent with the way they pay these 50-metre penalties. They did it previously.
Done his shoulder, Ross.
And that's the shoulder that's going to be, I think, maybe the same shoulder he's had problems with pre-season.
Well, it's a 50, if not a report, really, isn't it?
Mark.
1, 2, certainly 2 seconds.
Yes. Let's hope that young Mark Hepburn's all right, because the players I mentioned before that North Melbourne need to fire in their forward line and have an occasional run on the ball. Only very young, having come from Claremont in WA, but only played 3 senior games for that club in Perth before coming to North Melbourne. He has had a few injuries in the shoulder. The one that might be sore right at the moment has caused him some problems. Luckily, he saw him coming just the last minute and put his shoulder down, but
I think he might have been just winded. That looked as though the knock might have been just below the shoulder, which could spell...
because Ablett even turned his body a little too. But still, as we said, unnecessary.
Well, Hepburn's about 45 metres. He'll have to kick the ball 50 to score. Just comes off it a little to the front of the square. No mark taken. At the back, Steele. High kick. Doesn't really cover much territory. Fairly. At the back, Yates. Geelong do well to rush it through for a behind. So the difference, very close to half-time here at the MCG, is just 1 point. 9-10 plays 9-9.
That's as close as North have been all day. Oh, it's an excellent mark in front, taken by Schultz. 3¼ minutes left to half-time. And North really throwing out the challenge to the Cats and might lead by the long break. Kick smothered off Hinckley's boot. Comes back for North. Oh, good mark by Cameron. 64 plays 63. Geelong in front, but they led by 22 points at quarter time. Cameron's kick to half forward. Thumped up the ground by North. Helped further afield by Smith, who kicked North's last goal. Goes to Larkin. He's caught. Didn't see the tackler coming. The tackler was Stoneham. The kicker now is Ablett to full forward. High climb at the back, Scott. This is close. A goal. Oh, just missed.
And Robert Scott's having a fine game for Geelong. Looking dangerous, working hard midfield as well.
Longmire, members side, no mark taken. Good punch, picked up by Troy, goes for goal. No mark, was it? Longmire's taken it through, and the umpire, the field umpire, says all clear to the goal umpire, another behind to Geelong. Perhaps John Longmire thought there that he'd taken the mark. From 2 steps, he kicks the ball in, and this time takes it to the outer side. The mark has been taken by Hocking. He plays on quickly. The kick's a little too high. McCarthy, the defender, punches away. Schwash there. German to help out. Spargo right in the centre, streaming goalward. Can North Melbourne kick a goal before half-time to give them the lead? Jimmy Cracker to do the roving. Can't quite shrug the tackle. Gets the ball out wide. Schwass inside 50. Short pass is good. Mark taken by Fairley.
What a quarter he's had. He's going for number 4 for the term.
Coming off the interchange bench, Ian Fairley has a chance to put North Melbourne in front for the first time. Shot for goal. Goal umpire doesn't move. It's a goal. Fairley kicks his ball.
Well, it's a good lead-up football there for North Melbourne, rebounding from the back line. And Longmire spoiled, reading the game, coming right out from full-back there. And a good kick from him, and a follow-up there from Ian Fairley. 4 goals and a quarter. We saw yesterday Richard Osborne kicking 4 goals and a quarter and nearly turning the game for Fitzroy. Ian Fairley certainly turning the game for North Melbourne so far.
So North Melbourne in front by 3 points through accurate kicking this quarter. 8 goals 4 to 3 goals 9. Hawthorn lost yesterday when they kicked 3-9 and a quarter, and this could cost Geelong this quarter here. It's a North free in the middle. Fairley once more. Up to full forward. Oh, in front, no trouble at all, Harris.
And I blame the other Geelong defenders there, Drew. Mark Boss was jostling with Harris, out of position, and 3 Geelong defenders all stood around hoping that Boss or would spoil or Darren Harris would drop the mark.
Well, this could be a 9-goal quarter to North Melbourne. Fairley this quarter, 7 kicks, 2 hand passes, 4 marks, 4 goals. Harris from right in front and 40 metres out. Drills it.
And Darren Harris is expected to produce each week for North Melbourne. He's one of the only taller players they have in the side. If he can remain injury-free and alternate here, it's a good mark from Harris. Just nudged Boss out of the way. And he's a very long kick and kicked accurately on that occasion. Sort of player that can alternate between the ruck and full forward, give them some sort of versatility.
Well, they've got 18 seconds left. They might make it a 10-goal quarter.
11-9, 9-12, North Melbourne doing it well. Hocking can't break clear. North Melbourne get it out of the centre again. McCrabb's under pressure from McCarthy. Did he have the football? The umpire lets play go on. McCarthy out to Spargo. Spargo's kick to full forward. No one takes the mark. Cracker plays it along in front. Oh, he just can't quite get his foot to the ball. And the siren sounds to end the second term here at the MCG, with North Melbourne going into the half-time break 9 points in front. North Melbourne 11-9, 75. Geelong 9-12, 66.
What a comeback. Just didn't the ruck turn around. Quarter time, had 3 marks, 7 kicks.
haven't got one guy who'd like to motivate the team?
No, they're just all fronting.
How's your view when the ball gets down there? No, that's right. Oh, it was.
Ben is still on the bench with Love, is it?
Yes, Jason Love, yep. Greg Miller, former South Melbourne, or South Melbourne player on the right.
Yeah.
Colin Seary, the runner from Footscray in North Melbourne. Jim Carter, the team manager. Farrier extraordinaire. Orb Devlin, or the property man. Oh, there you go.
There's more. It was all about the umpire and everybody else. 10-point lead in the slop up there is a pretty big lead, huh? It's 1 out of 7 if this keeps up.
I've backed every underdog at 3 to 1. Looks like 6 of the 7 will be underdogs. So-called underdogs. What are they waiting for now?
Yeah, flashing a lot. Start of the second half here at the MCG, and North Melbourne, after a 9-goal second quarter, lead by 9 points. Knocked out of the air by Burke, who lost control of things in the second quarter after dominating in the first. Steele loses it. Stephen Hocking on the ground, number 1, who replaced Drum in the selected 20. Up towards half forward, and Stoneham takes the mark. Hocking spent the first half on the bench. Kicked by Stoneham, good distance. Brownless swamped. Jim Cracker back in the back pocket. Good pick up there by Chandler. And the umpire's going to ball this up.
So to start the third quarter, both sides pretty desperate. Keen to get that first goal on the scoreboard. North Melbourne, tremendous fight back in the second term. Up over the top, Burke. Hocking, Cracker, kick off the ground by Scott inside 50 metres, goes through all players. Buckley's a chance. Coming out strong from the last line of defence was Martin. Crashed over the boundary line unfairly was Russell. There's a poor tackle there by the North Melbourne player in Hepburn. Kick up towards full forward, and the mark has been taken. Good judgment by Yates. Perhaps looked as though he was a little unsure there as to what was happening. Always looking at the umpire, but umpire Sheehan pretty close and saw it as a clean, fair mark to Yates, only 25 metres from goal. Very carefully pops it through.
Well, Mark Yates, it's only his second kick for the game, and has played a fair bit of his football this year in the back line, full back particularly for a while. Now on a wing on Wayne Swass. But not so much lucky, I don't know, there in. He certainly read it quite well, but surprised that the other players didn't get their hands on it. So a good mark and a good goal. Darren Harris now coming to the ruck for North Melbourne. Mark Hepburn going down to full forward.
So the Cats back to within 3 points. Neither ruckman touched that one either, although Harris came out with it. High kick up towards half forward. Ablett gets back in defence. Being booed every time he goes near the ball. Jim Cracker, we believe, reported for striking Ablett earlier on. And his kick there was clever. Couldn't find anybody up the ground, so he gained about 40 metres. And we'll have a throw in on the wing. Ablett actually started at half forward, kicked the first goal of the match. And now back in defence. Jim Cracker loses it. Boss close to the boundary line. Ablett again, couldn't control it. Out of bounds again.
Well, I think the fans are a little unfair booing him. I mean, there's been a bit of jostling done earlier, but boundary throw in. Tim Burke, but Harris over the top, views. Boss gets the kick away between half forward and centre. Punch. Spargo, well tackled by Scott and caught with the football, says the umpire. Scott plays on, takes advantage, runs 20 metres, kicks it 50 into the pocket, and a good mark taken for Geelong by Morgan, and Martin very angry with himself there. Morgan only 20 metres from goal, tight angle, and the opportunity to put Geelong back in front. Punts for goal and puts it through. Good goal to Morgan, and Geelong now lead by 3 points.
Yes, as you called it there, Ian, a good mark by David Morgan. I think Michael Martin a little deceived by Morgan's strength overhead and elected just to put his fist out rather than try and a full thrust, and Scott running right through the centre, taking his full meterage. Michael Martin there not quite as aggressive as he wanted to be. I realise that. I don't think he'll do that again.
Well, Geelong have the first 2 goals of the second half and have hit the front by 3 points. And one thing that Malcolm Blight would be pleased about is that they've had 9 goal kickers, so they're not relying on 1 or 2 players up forward. Hand pass comes back to McCarthy. Skillful, round onto his left boot up towards half forward. Jim Cracker in front, steal off hands. Nearly gathered, ran into a brick wall with Schultz. Steal in after it again, and the umpire will ball it up.
Good tough football there.
Yeah. Good from both players, wasn't it?
So North back into attack. They really came back in the third quarter with a 9-goal effort for the term. Hepburn wins the tap, goes to German, can't get boot the ball. Back he goes to Larkin. Whoop, high tackle. Oh, Clarkson. The umpire doesn't pay a free kick. And Scott takes it away over the top to Troy. Well, that's a hot one. Troy up towards centre half forward. Dumped out, comes to Couch at the back. McCarthy. And a good mark low to the ground taken by Gary Hocking.
Certainly was a good mark by Hocking. And he's kicked towards half forward. Nearly a mark to Russell. Free kick anyway, I would say. The North Melbourne player perhaps running straight at Dwayne Russell. He stood his ground. No, it's going back to Troy. Troy's short pass. Looking for Brownless. Punched away. Brownless goes after it again. Helped out by Russell. Russell's hand pass just a little too long. Chance for Yates. Gets it off to Hocking. Good teamwork. Boss is on the end of it. Boss's left foot kick to the front of the square. Good punch away. Chance for Tim Burke. From a standing start goes bang and misses.
Well, a couple of indifferent decisions there. One on the North Melbourne forward line, which was fairly obvious, we all thought, wasn't paid. And a not so obvious one given to Geelong. So, varying opinions from the umpire.
Ackley's kick in. Clarkson can't take the mark. Fight for it at ground level. And they force a ball up. About 55 metres out from goal. Geelong in attack. Geelong leading 79 to 75. 19 and a half minutes left in the third quarter. Burke palms, but it comes straight down to German. Kick to centre wing, beats Ablett out.
You touched on before, Ian, about Ablett receiving the boos of the crowd as such. I think the better the opposition player, the more he is booed by the various opposition supporters.
Boss does the ruck work. Ablett miraculously gets through and gets his kick away. Oh, what a mark! Stoneham has to be the most improved player in the VFL competition in the last 12 months. Barry Stoneham, short kick towards Brownless. Schwass Hand pass back to Ackley. Ackley kicks it 55 metres out, close to the boundary line at half-back. Good contest between Larkin and Couch, and the ball goes over for another throw-in. Stoneham, what a player. Centre half forward. Tim Burke gets himself in front. Harris over the top, perhaps interfered with Burke. That was the way the umpire saw it. And the free kick will go to the beanpole Geelong ruckman.
Well, he's come back a bit in this quarter. He was right out of it in the second zone.
So it's been a good debut, hasn't it?
He's done well.
3 marks, 8 kicks.
Kicks the ball high towards centre half forward, and a good mark to Russell. Advantage of putting yourself in front. He'll have to kick from just outside the 50-metre line, but can kick the football.
Oh.
Magnificent drop punt. Right to the line, it's a goal. Russell kicks his third, and Geelong just edge that little further away from North Melbourne. The difference is 10 points.
And Dwayne Russell kicking a goal in each of the first 3 quarters, being moved to Geelong from South Australia. I mentioned before, he just seems to be a little fitter this year, and that's helped his mobility.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the Cats would have had a rev up from Malcolm Blight at half-time, and they've kicked 3-1 to nothing. Jim Cracker. But on his own centre half-back is Hughes. Hughes up towards the wing. Stoneham comes from behind, knocks down. Yates gathers the ball. Have to go and get it again. And passes backwards. Ablett does well. Couch, beautiful turn, beautiful pass. Morgan at half forward, 60 metres out. 50. Big kick, but way offline.
He really strived to get distance with that, didn't he?
He overkicked.
It went way offline. Yep. Bit unfortunate. Over exuberance, I guess.
Yes, I think he saw the goals in front of him and wanted to put it right through to the stand.
We tend to get a bit carried away in those situations. German with the football in the back pocket. Nice looking kick by Peter German. Out towards half back. Attempted kick by Boss is picked up by Harris, and Harris stumps it towards half forward for North Melbourne. Where are the crumb gatherers? They're all in the Geelong Guernseys. This time it's Steve Hocking, and he comes clear and kicks Geelong back into attack. Punch away by the North Melbourne defenders. Law fumbles, but he's quick to recover. Gets the kick away. Steele. High ball towards half forward. Fairley. Good mark. Stands his ground and takes a one grabber inside 50 metres.
A good shepherding by Mark Hepburn to stop being Fairley being interfered with by a Geelong player.
So Fairley. High one into the 10-metre square. No mark. Good punch by Schultz. Comes to the front. Larkin. Can't break the tackle. Hand pass wide to Smith. Smith snaps for goal and kicks his second. And North Melbourne just make a little bit of a comeback.
Well, it was a fine punch away by the Geelong defence, but it ran almost 30 metres wide of the goal square to Matthew Larkin, who just waited that extra second to dispose of the ball. Good punch from Schultz. Right out here to Matthew Larkin. Just weighed up the situation. Kept his ground, strong legs. Handball to Ross Smith, who kicked a good goal, as being called his second for the match.
Well, nothing in this. Harris a fingernail to it, but can't get it clear. The umpire will ball it up. Well, you'd like your defenders streaming up the ground and kicking 2 goals every game, wouldn't you? Ball up again. Be lucky to get this out. Well, Morgan does well. And a long kick from a standing start. Defender underneath it gives Browner some chance. Scott with German. Oh, well played, Peter German to Ackley. Up towards the centre of the ground. Fairley. Schwass. The hand pass behind him and beat him out of bounds. Just trying to have a look at Smith and how many goals he would have kicked. 18 goals in his life. And he's been around a long time, so he doesn't get too many.
Spargo's kick towards half forward. Hughes with strength. Oh, great pick up by Fairley. Jimmy Cracker into an open goal from a tight angle. And just misses. And it's a seesawing battle at the MCG. The difference now 3 points in favour of the Cats. Schultz. Back there to mind Hepburn, does the kicking in, straight up the ground. High flyer, what a mark for Harris. And this boy has a bit of ability. With a bit of confidence, I just get the feeling he could be a tremendous player.
And he'll back himself here too. He's like Bill Brownless. Very long kick.
Well, there's nobody else in his sights except the goals by the look of him.
Someone behind the goals he's looking at.
Thumping kick. Offline. Out of bounds on the full. So it could have been tight if he'd have kicked it straight. Darren Harris. Very good young side, North Melbourne. I see them as a big improver over the next 12 months.
If they keep their injuries down to a minimum, which they haven't unfortunately been able to over the pre-season period, they'll always be very competitive.
Contest just outside the 50. Comes to Larkin. Little left footer to full forward. Oh, good mark, Stephen Hocking. Under a bit of pressure there, the Cats. And he gets a lot of height on this. Smith flies, comes down to Schwass. Hand pass blocked, he has to go back and get it. He's lost 30 metres. Buckley, he's lost it. Bairstow's got a good tackle by Buckley. Play on, says the umpire. The hand pass from Bairstow finds Russell. Centering kick at the back. Brownless couldn't hold it. Scott had to go back with the hand pass and he's lost it. North out of defence. Chance for Boss. Grabbed when he didn't have it. No whistle. David Cameron. Hooked out of the air by Martin. Straight to Jim Cracker. Great play to German on centre wing. Up to half forward. Harris, same direction as the ball. Vital that Schultz got a finger to that. But it comes to Spargo. Nobody back there and Spargo kicks the goal.
Gee, that was great play out here, Ross, wasn't it, in front of us, with North Melbourne just showing sheer persistence.
Yes, weight of numbers got them through there, and some quick thinking, getting rid of the ball first thing. Good handball in from Jim Cracker, and a fine shark goal from Paul Spargo, who's been a very effective player. Had a great year last year in the centre for North Melbourne, and if he can maintain his fitness, be a great asset for them.
So North Melbourne back in front. 13-10 plays 12-13. Tim Burke gets the tap out of the centre. Schwass just gets his foot to the ball as he gets a fist in the face. And the kick has been marked by Hocking.
50 metres there, ran in fairly. Unfortunately, couldn't stop himself running across the mark there, and it could be costly.
Well, it's going to bring Hocking up to the 50-metre line in Geelong's forward zone. Don't know about Steve Hocking, but he's giving himself a go at it. Kicks it high, gets under it a little bit, into the square. Nearly a mark to Brownless. Pick up by Scott, hard up against the boundary line. Short kick, looking for Russell. Smith there, does the tackling. Russell gets his foot to the ball. And good play by Dwayne Russell. The mark's been taken by Bairstow. Perhaps the ball only travelled maybe 12 metres, 13 metres. But it's given Bairstow a chance to kick Geelong's 13th goal.
That's his first mark today, and 11 possessions, not quite his usual dominant game.
Bairstow, very deliberate. Kick is just offline, I feel, yes, and through for another behind. So the Cats just a little astray. 12-14, North Melbourne 13-10.
There's Mark Bairstow being well covered by Ben Buckley so far in this game.
Kick in by Longmire. Oh, what a mark by Yates.
Well, they need him to lift through.
Kick by Mark Yates. Puts the torpedo on it. Covers distance. Brownless. Not quite. Chance for Morgan. Jolted out of his arms. Longmire breaks away out of defence. Good tussle here. Hocking's had a good quarter. Warmed the bench for the first half. Great sprint on here. The ball wins and goes out of bounds. That was good stuff by Chandler.
Yeah, it's well played by Longmire firstly, and then great endeavour from Jeff Chandler, who's a very handy player for North Melbourne. Oh, it's a great mark. One grab.
So on centre wing, member side, boundary throw-in, Tim Burke. Good grab there by Gary Hocking. Around the corner, and a very good mark taken by McCarthy at centre half back for North Melbourne. Plays on. Good long kick too towards centre half forward. Fairly pushed off the ball. The ball goes to the back of all players. Coming out from the pocket is Buse. Gets the hand pass away to Gary Hocking. He takes his 5 metres and kicks it high towards centre half forward. Punch away. Tidying up at the back is Martin for North Melbourne, looking for someone to kick to. Kicks it to the wide open spaces. The ball bounces awkwardly for all players. Troy's there, so is Gary Ablett. He shrugs the tackle and then sends the torpedo punt to the half forward zone. North Melbourne defence under a lot of pressure. Stoneham somehow gets possession. Hocking is caught, that's Gary. Ball runs free. Couch tries a little kick off the ground. Stoneham in there again. At the back, Yates. Yates from a standing start kicks it close to the line and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
There's been some great tackling, great tackling this game.
Being played at breakneck speed, isn't it?
Yes.
And 2 points the difference. North Melbourne in front. Under 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Hepburn up against Burke. Comes to Couch off the left boot near the boundary line. Pretty close. Oh, what a goal!
They deceived everyone, Drew. That's his first goal. I was going to make mention before if Bill Brownless had to compete for that ball. He's gone for 3 marks now in this third quarter and had his hands on 3 of them. Fortunately put all 3 to ground and has missed opportunities, but on that occasion looking to stay out of the contest and the ball sailed through for a goal.
Well, I don't know whether I'd like to try and nominate the winner. It's going goal for goal in the third term. Great jump by Tim Burke. The kick comes out of the centre marked by McCrabb. Standing, torpedo punt kick 60 metres. Good punch away by the North defence. David Cameron pulled off the ball by Chandler was good play. Martin tries a kick off the ground, goes after again. Does get possession and recovers brilliantly. Good play by Martin. His left foot kick close to the line and it goes over for another throw-in.
Malcolm Blight's elected to persevere with Austin McCrabb on fairly, and he's certainly coming good.
Burke to do battle with Hepburn. Comes down to Troy. Goes back with a hand pass. Boss somehow boot the ball. Ablett! No, he didn't take it. Comes away to Stoneham. He runs through 50, lines them up and kicks a brilliant goal.
Well, that's a real team lifter, Drew. His first goal, a couple of points early in that second quarter, I think it was. Barry Stoneham really showing his full effect there. And centre half forward, you don't always have to have a dominant player, a player who's brilliant. You just need someone to work hard all the time, be persistent. That certainly is what Barry Stoneham is, but showing a bit of class there, finishing off with a goal on the run. Not an easy kick for a big fellow, and never looked like missing.
Well, everything just seemed to open up for him, didn't it? And Stoneham kicks the goal back in the centre. High flyer Burke. His tap really not effective. Gary Hocking can't break clear. Goes after it again. And the umpire is going to be forced to bounce once again. Only 2 or 3 metres from the centre circle. And Geelong with a little bit of breathing space. They lead by 10 points. Just 8 minutes left. Russell caught with the football, maybe penalised. Yes, now play on, advantage paid. Ball runs free to McCarthy. McCarthy goes bang to goal. Offline, through for another behind to North Melbourne. 13-11 plays 14-14. Geelong by 9 points. And it's a titanic struggle at the MCG. Very important to get wins on the board in the early rounds.
Kick straight up the centre of the ground. Mark not taken in front by Yates.
Well played.
Palms it back. Helped up the field by Gary Hocking. Troy caught from behind. Shrugging the tackle well. David Cameron runs onto it. He eventually ran into a brick wall. Comes out here to Clarkson. Look at some of the tackling here. Martin from a standing start. High to centre half forward. Burke in front, nudged out by Harris. Hand pass comes forward to Spargo. Puts it wide to Larkin. Larkin 40 metres out. Misses to the right.
Third point for Matthew Larkin there, Drew. As I mentioned earlier in the game, he's normally a very accurate kick for goal. One of the more accurate kicks for goal on the North Melbourne side. He'd be disappointed with that.
Here's a costly miss for a good player like Matthew Larkin. Schultz's kick in comes to the member's side. Burke nearly marks it. Kick by Law has been smothered. Boss's left foot kick comes out towards Gary Hocking. Hocking somehow gets himself a little bit of space. The hand pass, kicked by Boss up towards half forward. Stoneham at the back. Helped out by David Cameron. Hand pass over the top. Running onto it is Troy. Troy will go for goal from just inside 50. Hooks it a little bit and kicks another behind. So Geelong 14-15. North Melbourne 13-12. And the difference in Geelong's favour, 9 points. We've got just over 6 minutes left in the third term.
And the ball just sweeping from one end to the other. Schwass with his pace, first onto this one. 20-metre hand pass to McCarthy. Gathers athletically. Off the right boot. Bit off the side, though. He didn't want to be out there. And Hepburn couldn't keep it in. The ball goes out.
Yes, wasn't good play from John McCarthy. Had Eden Fairley backing back in a bit of space in that forward line and could have elected a short pass to Fairley. Got a better result.
Boundary throw in. Schultz wins for Geelong. It comes to Buckley. Just outside the goal square, Jim Cracker. Is he tripped? Yes, the umpire pays him the free kick right in front.
It's uncanny the way he can control the ball.
Against Buse. Great little contest here. Buse, I think a bit of an ankle tap. So Jim Cracker, man on the mark, just 20 metres from goal. Puts it through and narrows the gap. His third.
There's Jim Cracker there showing great skill. Perhaps what we call good visual acuity, where he has great vision here, knowing where the ball is, where the players are, not panicking, just letting the play take its toll and getting the free kick and finishing off very well. Peter Dacos is very similar. Robbie Flower, just know where the ball is, where the players are and what to do at the right time.
So another goal to North Melbourne. Difference now 3 points in favour of Geelong. Harris, better judgment. Punch away by Hocking. Stoneham, caught well by Martin, gets the ball away. Steve Hocking, left foot kick to half forward and a good, courageous, strong mark taken by Ackley at half back. Good build up for Geelong, broken down by the experienced North Melbourne defender. Kicks it wide to the outer wing. No mark taken. Good crumb gathering by Bairstow. Kick into the pocket is perfect and finds Gary Hocking inside 50. Another short pass on Morgan. And Darren Morgan is about 40 metres from goal. He's already kicked one goal and certainly a chance to add to his tally. Nice looking left foot kick. Just swings to the left and misses. So another behind on the scoreboard for Geelong. They lead by 4 points and there's just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Kick in by Longmire. 2 against 2. Law, good mark. John Law, 2 marks, 7 kicks up towards the centre wing. Hocking punches from behind, gives Troy a chance. Just gets the kick away. Morgan. Ball went out. Yeah, well, the boundary umpire was sprinting. He was about 30 or 40 metres behind. I suppose you got a good look at that.
Yes, I think might have given Morgan the benefit of the doubt there.
Just inside the 50-metre mark. The ruck contest. Well, it really wasn't a contest. Russell took it out of the air. Clarkson's kick, or Smith, now Smith. 2-on-1. Steve Hocking. Good contesting work by Love. Couch gathers. Thumps it back towards full forward in the Brownless direction. Good punch away by Longmire. Brownless from mid-air. Comes back to McCarthy. North Melbourne out of trouble. McCarthy, 2 bounces. Kicks it up towards the Jimmy Cracker direction. Hughes falls over. Cracker takes it away. Up towards 50 metres. Forced to kick high. Into the pocket. No mark taken. Now Buckley. Oh, hits the post. That could have been a spectacular goal.
Yes, and unfortunately in that effort to get the ball there, Jim Cracker kicked the ball very high. Ben Buckley perhaps squalling in fairly there and still making amends with a great effort to shoot for goal.
Buckley's had 2 posters today.
Yes.
Here's Schwass giving away the free kick. Schultz. Up over the wing. Huge pack there. Comes off Abbott's shins at the back. He keeps going and crunches his way through. Gives away the free kick. And that was pretty reckless. Peter German with the free. Takes the short one out wide. Ackley up from defence. Centering kick. Oh, what a mark. Beautiful. Hepburn.
Exploded.
What a spring.
In fact, Jimmy Cracker placed himself beautifully at the front of the pack. I was waiting for it to come down to Jim, but it didn't come off this boy's fingertips.
Recovered well from the heavy knock earlier on too in that second quarter.
Yes, if he can hold his ground, make all the difference.
Straight kick will put North in front. 45 metres out, but he's missed it. That's his first score today.
Well, they're always easier from here, but in these conditions, no breeze, not that far out, should have been a goal.
McCrabb. Nice long kick. And equally as good a mark taken by Yates at half-back.
He's lifted his game.
Come into the play a lot in this third term. Kick towards half-forward. Good mark to Russell. Gee, the skills are fantastic. Off to Scott. Scott inside 50 metres. Morgan over the top. Brownless tries to get the hand pass back. Punch away by Martin is a good one. Falls into the arms of Troy. Gets it back to Boss. Boss's kick in short. And a mark to Morgan. Morgan plays on quickly. Long drop punt. Into the pocket. Well, that's a mark. A good mark to Gary Hocking. And an unassuming player, Gary Hocking.
He set himself well for this mark. He's received on replay. Just kept eyes on the ball. Does that very well. 7 marks, in fact, for the game so far. 8 kicks, 6 handballs. Already kicked a goal as well.
A very difficult angle, as you can see there.
Will he try banana?
Now it must be play on. And he kicks it behind.
Nobody's taken more than 7 marks on the ground. 3 points the difference, and there's 3/4 time at the MCG, and it's Geelong 14-17, 101, North 14-14, 98. Looking at the fluctuations, you'd swear there was a big breeze. There's none.
Yeah, there's not. It's been one. Now Abbott's down on Spargo. Oh, sorry, Spargo on Abbott.
Start of the final quarter here at the MCG, and Geelong lead by 3 points in a match which has had everything. Fluctuated with the scoreboard, and there's young Burke, the young brother of Damien Burke, winning it out of the centre. Schwass kicks round the corner, and this ball will hurry out near the wing. It's a match which really has fluctuated. Geelong led by 22 points at quarter time. The Kangaroos kicked 9 goals in the second quarter to lead by 9 points, and Geelong have hit the front again going into the last term. Clarkson gains about 10 metres and the ball goes out. Fine conditions at the MCG. No breeze to speak of. Big crowd watching this first Sunday game at the MCG for 89. Harris and young Burke. Paddled up the ground by Boss. He has another go at it, but Law beats him to it. Comes to Bairstow. Bairstow's kick over the centre towards half forward. Couch leading the race. Ball bounces well for him. Wants to get round onto his left side. No good on the right boot. High one to centre half forward. Gary Hocking there. Punch comes from behind. Hocking goes in to apply the tackle. The ball held in and the umpire will ball it up.
There's no chance there to get rid of the ball.
No, Gary Hocking looking at the umpire as if to say, why didn't I get the kick? But, gee, it would have been a severe penalty on Matthew Larkin.
Oh,
45 to 50 metres from goal for Geelong. Matthew Larkin comes clear. Hand pass to Cracker. Off to German. 3 key players in the North Melbourne side. Up towards half forward. Good punch away. Shepherd by Law was good. Kick off the ground finds Love. Love out wide. Now a chance for Fairley. Hand pass into the square. Hepburn into an open goal, and North Melbourne are in front.
It was a good lead up too, wasn't it, Ian? From all the way down from that back line. And Ian Fairley there, electing to handball the ball over to Mark Hepburn rather than kick the ball to make sure of the accuracy. Mark Hepburn no trouble putting the ball through. Gives North Melbourne now a 3-point lead. Still a very close game.
That was Hepburn's first goal. North Melbourne have had 9 goal kickers and Geelong 11. So there have been 20 goal kickers out of the 40 players on the field. Just to give you an idea how much they've shared this ball around. Been pretty hard at times too. Clarkson out of the middle for North. Fairley runs onto it. Had a purple patch in the second quarter when he kicked 4 goals. And how about that one for number 5?
Well, we mentioned before about Ian Fairley sitting on the bench for the first quarter for North Melbourne, then coming on for that second quarter and starting at centre forward and kicked 4 goals. Then I thought Austin McCrabb did a very good job on him in that third term, keeping him goalless and almost kickless. What a great goal from Ian Fairley. Knew exactly where they were. And again, that extends their lead now to 9 points.
It's a tremendous game of football at the MCG this afternoon. Both sides displaying great skills. Ball goes up into the North Melbourne half-forward area. Chance for McCarthy, caught by McCrabb. Hepburn caught. Hand pass, sweeping, Schultz. Oh, that could be penalised.
Yes.
Very, very blatant. And the free kick will go to Spargo. Well within scoring distance.
Schultz had an alternative too, didn't he, Ian?
Had a teammate there to try and give it to, but he's been penalised and Spargo's a chance. Impressive statistics. And they could make them even more impressive. Beautiful kick by Spargo. He's kicked his second, and the first 3 goals of the last quarter kicked by North.
Well, I was initially going to be a little critical of John McCarthy as he's running toward goal. He had 3 North players in front of him to handball to, hung onto the ball for too long, was almost penalised. And then a fairly obvious mistake there by Schultz, resulting in a fine goal to Paul Spargo.
Darren Harris against the 19-year-old youngster Tim Burke. Burke, number 51, wins this. Stoneham, hand pass back, nearly intercepted. Off the ground by Troy. He's looking to hand pass clear, but the umpire's going to ball it up. Been pretty rugged in some of the packs. We believe that Jim Cracker has been reported for an incident with Gary Ablett. Couch bursts his way through the pack, takes it defensively. The kick comes out to Schwass. North go forward again, high to half forward. Hughes caught from behind, gets the hand pass away. Still a chance here for North. Whistle's gone. It's a Geelong free kick to McCrabb. Pretty fortunate there, Geelong. They needed that free.
Yeah, I would have thought that was very fortunate, Drew.
Hinkley on the ground very quickly for Geelong, replacing Tim Burke.
Could get a possession straight away. Scott off to Hinkley, up towards half forward. Hinkley's kick into the pocket. Ablett certainly interferes with the North Melbourne player, Martin. And Ablett cops one for his corner as well.
Book's coming out here. Umpire has reached for his pencil, I thought.
Scratching his leg. But anyway, the free kick is going back to the North Melbourne defender.
Definite free kick. I thought he may have reversed it then for the indiscretion on Ablett.
Brilliant football by Harris. Over the back to Cracker. Pass is brilliant to Fairley. And Fairley between wing and half forward for North Melbourne. Kicks it to within goal scoring distance. At the front, Clarkson can't gather. Couch can for Geelong. And he kicks the Cats back into attack. At the back, no mark taken there by Hinkley. Picked up quickly by Harris. Harris for North Melbourne. Up towards half forward. There's a mark to North to Buckley. Making position Chandler. Good position. And Buckley delivers the ball to that player. Angle just a little tighter, but a fraction closer to goal. So a dream start to the last term for North Melbourne. They lead by 15 points. And young Chandler, kick for goal, is just offline. So that extends the lead to 16 points with 20 minutes left in the last term.
Well, the quarters in this match, which Geelong won, when Burke was going well in the ruck, he had 3 marks and 7 kicks in the first quarter, and led by 22 points. Cracker didn't quite take that mark. It comes down to Yates. Off to Couch. He's looking for his left boot. Cracker gets him. Scott. Another chance here for North. Oh, another fairly fortunate free kick to Geelong, and it'll go to Paul Couch. The point I was making about Burke was that he didn't get a touch in the second quarter, and North kicked 9 goals and thrashed them. Burke is off the ground at the moment, and North are looking a lot better in this last quarter as well. Schwass in front. Hand passing out close to the boundary line. Brownless well down the ground. Just keeps it in. Well played, Bill Brownless. Up to half forward with his kick. Russell backs into the pack. Ackley gets a fist of the ball. Oh, McCarthy is bowled over unceremoniously and the ball goes out. Well, that typifies this game. It's been brilliant. It's been hard. And nobody would want their money back.
A great bump there by Gary Hocking. Boundary throw in. Clarkson does the ruck work. Some shepherding, gives Scott a chance. Hand pass off to Gary Hocking. Another hand pass off to Troy. Hinkley's got a player in support in the pocket. It's Russell. Russell for goal and puts it through for Geelong.
Wayne Russell now has kicked a goal in each of the 4 quarters, and he's been a very effective player. But Geelong, there's been some great contests all through this game, and the best part about it has been, as the physical clashes have occurred, the player's been knocked down with a good hip and shoulder. He's got up straight away. There's been no shirking the issue, which has been great to see.
Still pretty hard to work out who's going to win this one. North by 10 points at the moment. Stoneham in the ruck, having done really well at centre half forward. Clarkson misses with a fly hack at the ball, comes back to him. Whistle goes, umpire's going to ball it up again.
I'll tell you another thing too, the umpires have let that go nicely, where there's a struggle for possession at centre bounces and they just let it go to someone gets a quick kick out.
Many players around this one. Harris beats Stoneham. Fairly overruns. Couch up to half forward for the Cats. Ackley in front, can't quite mark, loses balance. Morgan picks up, puts the hand pass out in front. Chance here for Hinkley. Poor old kick though, shocker. Straight to Smith.
Very good mark by Smith. The ball travelling pretty quickly to him. Picked it up nicely. Kicks it out towards the members' side. Tap on by Schwass was not quite far enough. Pick up by Clarkson. Schwass in there again. Somehow gets the ball out to Ackley. And Ackley settles down and thumps it towards half forward. Good gather by Jimmy Cracker. Rounded to the left foot. The ball doesn't travel too much distance. No mark taken. Now Cracker's got it again. This kick is a good effective one up towards full forward. Marking contest, good punch away by Schultz, close to the line. Love, kick off the ground, lands in the arms of Hepburn.
It was a great play from Jim Cracker though. An equally good play from Jason Love here.
Yes, quick thinking by Love and Hepburn on the end of it. Only a matter of 23 metres out from goal. He runs around and bangs it through. North Melbourne kick their 18th goal.
And the second goal from Mark Hepburn in this quarter. He took a point earlier on in the game. And he certainly recovered well, having been down rather heavily by Gary Ablett early in the game. And here we are, Jason Love once again off the ground. Very quick thinking. Mark Hepburn being clear there on that occasion and putting through a good goal.
There's been some famous things happen in that pocket on the MCG.
Wayne Harms.
About the same spot. Stoneham wins in the middle. Clarkson gets it off the ground. Jim Cracker, normally a one-touch player, fumbled at that time. Gave Buse a chance to Morgan. Jolted out of his arms, but back to Buse cleverly. Puts it wide. Brownless. Longmire in front of him. Caught from behind by Hinckley. Had to be holding the ball, didn't it? No whistle on that. Comes to Russell. He's got nobody to give it to. Blind hand pass. Brownless. Some sort of a hand pass, but a drop short. Picked up by Longmire. Back to the centre of the ground. Bairstow charges after it and gets away a long kick. But falls into the arms of Martin.
See, it's bouncing from one end to the other, isn't it? This
Great
football.
football. Great
Tremendous stuff. Martin goes wide to the outer wing. 2-on-1. Germans there. Spargo to help out and does it well. Gathers 10 or 15 metres for his side. Boss gets it off to Bairstow. Bairstow's kick towards centre-half forward. Ill-directed. Harris comes out. Strong in defence. Ackley helps out. So does Larkin. And the teamwork shown by North Melbourne is tremendous. Larkin's kick up towards half forward, unfortunately, is astray, and McCrabb takes the mark for Geelong. Goes for the torpedo punt kick. 60 metres towards half forward. No mark taken. Martin. Hand pass out wide to Larkin. Larkin's kick towards half forward is brilliant and fairly takes the mark. He's got plenty of time. He steadies. Left foot kick towards full forward. 1-on-1 Schultz and Hepburn. Hepburn nearly takes the mark, but unfortunately the boundary line a little too close, and he goes over with the football, and we'll have another throw in. The play about 30 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. North Melbourne lead 18-15 to 15-17.
Another chance here for North. Schultz wins for Geelong. Morgan. Hughes ducking and weaving and getting clear. Short of the wing, his kick. And Harris doing really well in the ruck. Geelong have made a few switches there. Stoneham playing in the ruck at the moment. McCrabb gets to the front and punches away and gains about 25 metres for his team, and will have a boundary throw in. North leading by 16 points with 14 minutes left in the last quarter.
We've seen some great football in the last 24 hours, Ross, haven't we? After yesterday's match.
Two terrific games, then.
Close game, and now today, North Melbourne hanging on. Geelong striving hard. Hocking. Scott. No, it's not. It's Steve Hocking. Long kick towards half forward. Russell. Good use of the body. Umpire in great position to see that marking contest. Russell, short pass, looking for Brownless. Great mark taken by Smith in front. He's played well. Plays on quickly. Comes to the members' side. The ball just sits a little too much for Matthew Larkin. Yates turns around. Short kick. You're caught, Couch. He shrugs the tackle. Runs into a goal. Goes for a long bomb. Over the top. It's punched through for a rush behind to the Geelong side. So the difference now 15 points in favour of North Melbourne with 13 minutes left in the last term.
Well, I've got Geelong down for 5 rush behinds, which I think says something for the disciplined defence of North Melbourne. A punch when they've been in trouble back there. Gee, some good body contact going on in the centre of the ground there. The umpire finishes up having to sort it out with a ball up.
Plus, there's also been a couple there without being too critical, Drew, where the Geelong forwards have just spilt marks, which really they should have taken.
Ball up. Stoneham gets a finger to this, but it's taken away by Martin. McCrabb shuffles out some sort of a hand pass to Hocking, and Hocking to his brother Stephen to Gary. Long kick. Brownless backs into them. Comes to the front. Geelong need the Rovers. Russell, good hand pass. Ablett, who kicked the first goal of the match. He hasn't scored with that one. Missed by a long way.
Well, if Geelong are going to get out of this match, I think they need something from Gary Ablett. More particularly, they need him to kick a couple of goals. 15-18 to 18-15. Kick in by Ackley. Great mark taken by Law. No, there's a free kick being picked out of it.
I think Law pinched it off Hocking. I think it was a mark to Hocking.
Yes, I think we might find that could be right.
So the ball going back to Gary Hocking. Too far out to score, but certainly will put Geelong in a good position. Nearly a mark. Ablett's in there. Brownless. Yates. Somehow Yates gets out. Snapshot. Out of bounds on the full. So luck not going Geelong's way at the moment. When they need goals, their kicks are going astray.
They seem to be relying just a little bit at the moment on individual efforts rather than trying to team, and someone wants to win it off their own boot all the time.
Punch away by Martin. Could be a chance for Geelong though. Cameron picks up, snaps for goal, just across the face for a behind. So they're doing all the attacking but not getting goals on the board at the moment. David Cameron, 1 goal, 1. Crowd today, 24,383. So it's been a good double-header at the MCG this weekend.
John Longmire has done a pretty good job on Brownless. Beautiful long kick. Goes into that centre square. Geelong, Clarkson on the end of that big punch. Out wide to Hepburn, tackled by Steve Hocking. Hepburn does it well, kicks it off the ground in the McCarthy direction, but it just goes over in front of that player, and we'll have another throw in. Half forward flank.
David Ackley.
And Ackley, unfortunately, in the arms of the trainers. Gee, I hope that's not too serious.
He's had a bad run of injury over the last couple of years. I agree, and I hope it's not too bad.
Gathered by Morgan at half back. Morgan kicks the Cats up towards centre half forward. No mark taken. At the back, Couch is a chance. Somehow he finds his way out of that crunch, and with his right foot shoots for goal. It's close, it's home. Magnificent goal by Couch, and Geelong are still a chance.
Well, that was a terrific effort by Paul Couch. That's his second goal. Kicked one in the third quarter. And to get out of trouble as he did and steady, kick on his right foot here we see in replay. Surrounded a bit by North players, steadied onto his right foot.
It's a left
good.
footer.
That's right. It's a good kick.
50-metre kick.
That's a very good kick. I thought it might have just been touched before it went through, but it should lift Geelong.
He's had a brilliant last quarter, Paul Couch. He's had 25 possessions for the game. I reckon he'd be about 8 or 10 in this last quarter. Geelong forward again. Morgan the hand pass. Couch, hand pass back to Morgan, but he lost it. Picked up by Steele. Steele out to the wing. Jim Cracker. One touch this time. Booed every time he goes near it for his indiscretion earlier on. And Buckley takes the mark at half forward. Buckley back to Jim Cracker. It'd be a chance from 50 metres. But he steers the pass. The defence has the chance to punch away. A 20-metre punch. Russell, the hand pass behind teammate. Bairstow, it comes to Jim Cracker again. Well, his vision was terrific. And Love has taken the mark inside 50. At the moment, the margin is 8 points. Vital kick for North Melbourne, this. With just under 9 minutes left. Swung away. Still in the field of play. Fairley. Chance here. Kicked by Law, was it?
Yes.
Law through for a behind. Well, we saw David Ackley leave the ground. Michael Roberts is down there. Michael?
Yes, a very disappointed David Ackley. He is in tears, and he's just done his quadricep muscle on the right side of his body.
Well, that's terribly bad luck for David Ackley. And you'd have to think maybe that could even spell the end. McCrabb to Buse. Took a while to get boot to ball. Troy's hand pass intercepted by Harris. Comes out now to Fairley. Little left footer for Clarkson, but too far. He's cornered in the pocket. High tackle, was it? No whistle. German. Great football.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Great persistence.
Gee, those guys must be tired. I mean, no matter how much pre-season work you put in, the first game always pretty tough, isn't it, Ross?
Yeah, as each year goes by, and the level of fitness required by players just increased all the time.
Right in the forward pocket for North Melbourne. Buse and Clarkson test each other out.
And of course, the fitter you are and the quicker you run, the more the physical clashes are more dangerous, and they take more out of your body. So I admire the players enormously.
9 points, North Melbourne's lead. Troy thumps it back over the boundary line. And I would get the feeling that perhaps Geelong need it in the playing arena more so than North Melbourne. They're the ones trailing, just over 7 minutes left. Schultz, punch away by Harris. Chance for Jimmy Cracker. Left foot shot into the square. McCrabb does it well. Gets the hand pass away. Chance for Troy. Troy comes away, kicks it into the open spaces of the members' wing. North Melbourne players leading in the race for the ball, and Chandler takes it over for another boundary throw-in. So Geelong temporarily out of trouble, nearly into their half of the playing arena. Larkin grabbed. Stoneham gets it to Yates. Yates' tap. Couch. Oh, he puts Troy under pressure. Just gets it off to Bairstow. Bairstow's kick towards centre half forward. Now can Geelong gather. Chance for David Cameron. Little kick off the ground. Really not to his side's advantage. Ross Smith there to tidy up. Beautiful kick. German's there. Ablett missed the mark. German goes back after it again. And a beautiful kick by German. Finds Spargo. North Melbourne precision football. Spargo into the pocket is good and finds Fairley. Ian Fairley deep against the boundary line. 8th mark. Statistics fairly impressive. 18 possessions and going for goal number 6. Drop punt kick goes across the face. It's punched through for a behind by the Geelong defenders. And now the difference is 10 points in favour of North Melbourne.
So still the Cats can win it for Malcolm Blight in his first game back as a VFL coach. 2 goals to win and 5.5 minutes left. Martin stumbling, lost control of it. Hand pass to Bairstow. Good kick by Bairstow. Ablett comes to the front. Steele. Hand pass a bit too hard. Steele's back there to tidy up. Haven't tidied it up yet. Hocking on the 50. In front. Goes slap with the ball. Gets the distance but is offline. Well, they've had plenty of opportunities in this last quarter.
Great tackle there by Darren Morgan to try and keep play in that forward line, but unfortunately he's just outnumbered.
So Longmire kicks the ball in for North Melbourne. Out towards half-back. Gathered by Gary Hocking. He's caught with the football. Punch on by Stoneham. Couch.
And Couch offline with that one. So they've absolutely peppered the goals in this last quarter, Geelong. But they've kicked plenty out of bounds. And 16-20, they've kicked 2 goals 3 in this last quarter. And I would suggest 3 or 4 might have gone out of bounds. Here's a little hand pass up to Troy. It's inside 50. Seemed to be slow motion a bit there. McCarthy gets it away to Clarkson. I wouldn't blame them for being slow motion. They must be really sucking in the big breaths now. It's been going at a cracking pace all day. Scott sweeps a hand pass up the centre wing. It's gathered there by Russell, who can kick it a mile. Ablett's there. He goes early, but the punch comes from behind. Chandler pulled off the ball when he didn't have it. No whistle. The ball goes out of play.
Well, tight finish. Maybe the umpires have put their whistles away. Inside 50 metres. Geelong a chance. Trail by 9 points, so they need 2 goals. Under 4 minutes left. Scott somehow gets out of there. Left foot kick to the front of the square. Good punch away by Schwass through for a rush behind to Geelong.
And Geelong desperately trying to take a mark in that forward line. We've seen Ablett, Brownless and Yates on that occasion all flying high and getting their hands to the ball. They just can't quite hang on to it.
Time running out, 3.5 minutes remaining. Longmire kicks up the ground. It's gone about 85 metres near the centre circle. With 2 bounces, it's gone through the centre. McCrabb chops it off for Geelong. Hooks it back. Harris should have taken the mark. Martin overruns. Yates in after the ball with great courage. Scooped off the ground by Couch. What a last quarter Paul Couch has had. Puts the hand pass out. Gary Hocking runs to 40. 35. Goes for goal and has kicked it.
Well, hasn't Paul Couch played a great game there? And Gary Hocking, having kicked a goal in the first quarter, kicked his second in this last quarter, and what a vital goal it is. And he knew what he wanted to do. He took a couple of bounces, kept his eye on the ball and at the goals, didn't worry about the players running at him. Here we've seen replay, 1 bounce, 2 bounces, steadies, and really was purposeful in that shot for goal and didn't look like missing. So Geelong back in this, 2 points of difference.
The character of both sides being tested in the dying minutes of this second match at the MCG. First round, 1989. Couch again into the forward line. North Melbourne defence under pressure. Chandler holds it in and the umpire will bounce. The play about 35 metres out from the Geelong goal. Can they snatch it? 2.5 minutes left. They led comfortably earlier in the match, but North Melbourne persistence sees them in front on the scoreboard at the moment. Steele kicks it back to the centre. Now the bounce, very, very important. Gather by Troy. Off it goes to Boss. Boss puts Geelong back within scoring distance. A struggle for possession. Russell and Law. Johnny Law sees it over for another boundary throw-in. 2 minutes left in the game. And Geelong striving hard. North Melbourne under enormous pressure. John Kennedy anxiously watching his charges.
Chance for Geelong here still. Beautiful play by German. And he's found the boundary line. And the clock ticks down to about 1 minute and 3/4. The game of Paul Couch worth mentioning. 2 marks, 21 kicks, 10 hand passes. Harris wins the tap, a vital one. Schwass knocks it further up the ground. North Melbourne will be happy to see this ball out. Well, can you defend a 2-point lead? With 1.5 minutes to go?
Well, they're certainly doing anything right. They're forcing the ball on with hand and foot, but there's still time for Geelong.
It's thumped back over the boundary line for another throw-in. And I think yesterday's game indicated you can't defend any sort of lead in league football these days. Malcolm Blight didn't have much hair when he started coaching. He looks as though he's losing a few this afternoon.
I never said that.
Punch away by Stoneham. Big punch away by Martin. Back over the line. Less than 1 minute left. Just one lucky kick here could snatch it for Geelong. And a possession for North Melbourne between wing and half-back. Very, very important. Harris. Hocking's got it. Steve Hocking. Left foot kick. Mark coming up. Oh, German, a little exuberant. Hinkley. Now it's pushed over the line. Couch in possession. And right inside that 50-metre line with just seconds remaining. Look at the fingernails being bitten down there. Obviously Geelong supporters. Ablett can't get his kick away. North Melbourne defence struggling hard. It's flipped over the line and the field umpire says throw it in please.
And these fans wouldn't know. 10 seconds left, so Geelong have to get it out of this boundary throw-in. It's on the 50-metre line. They got the ball, couldn't get a kick in. Stoneham gets a hand pass away. Bairstow, siren about to go. There it is with the ball in the air. And North have hung on to win by 2 points. What a finish at the MCG. North Melbourne 18-17, 125. Geelong 17-21, 123. North jubilant. They came in as the underdogs. I don't think any player who participated in today's game could really feel disappointed with his efforts.
Well, it was a fantastic game of football between two sides who were very, very committed. And North Melbourne, just through persistence, they never ever gave up. And even to Geelong's credit, they were always in there with a chance. And it was a tremendous game of football. And in 2 days or 3 days, we've seen Essendon on Friday night, 4 great games yesterday, and witnessing a tremendous game today with North Melbourne running out just not quite the narrowest possible margin, but a great finish.
Boy, was that guts.
Poor old David Ackley, eh?
Yeah.
boogies.
Well, Peter, congratulations on a great game. A good win first up.
Yeah, it's one we've been looking for since John Kennedy, has arrived. We haven't won a first game in about 4 or 5 years now. It's great.
A tight finish. It seemed tough.
I didn't think the siren was going to go at the end there. I didn't think as many goals kicked, so I didn't think the quarter would go for long. But it was just great to hear the siren anyway.
Now, we had pretty consistent rain here yesterday. What was it like out there today?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Right, and North, they lack a little bit of height and depth in some key positions, but their competitiveness, has that come from John Kennedy?
Yeah, and just today we wanted to win for the club and ourselves, and it was just desperation really that got us here, really.
Now, Jim Cracker, he's electrifying. When he seems to fire, North seems to fire.
Yeah, even Phil, we need Phil back and a few others back, but Jimmy's a great player, and people say he's getting on with age, but I reckon he's getting better.
Now, a poor start and a great second quarter. What did John Kennedy actually say at quarter time?
Not much really. He sort of left it up to ourselves to just know what we've done wrong and just to rectify it and get it right, and we did, and come out on top.
Well done yourself, and well done to the club, and have a great season.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we have. I just went in there, and he's with his match committee. They won't let us in. So when they let the press in, we'll go in.
A one-on-one will be best.
Yeah, we'll let the press go, and then we can do a one-on-one. Hello, Michael Roberts here. Yes, hopefully we can get a one-on-one with John Kennedy. The rest of the press are going to go in, and then we could probably get a one-on-one with him. I don't know, he's still in there talking with his match committee, so it's pretty hard to sort of bowl in and do it. Yeah, I'll give him one-on-one there.
Probably come back again, so...
Michael, I'm going to get the forwards. Will you just get in, grab it?
Yeah, no,
You grab it,
yeah.
He's
He's the guy that organises the Greg Morris. Yeah, I'm going to get John up one-on-one. Just hang on that. Sure.
say something?
No.
Say a few words, Nick. We've got an interview with him.
Well, John, congratulations on today. A very tough game, but the boys hung in there.
Yes, it was a tough game, really a great struggle, and I suppose there was nothing in it at the end, but we just lasted long enough.
Now, a poor start today. What did you actually say to the boys at quarter time?
Well, I thought that quarter time, I thought that we were down, but they were mistakes that we made without a great deal of pressure, just the pressure that we sort of put on ourselves. So I still thought we had a good chance at quarter time, and I reminded them it was our mistakes and to try and lift it a bit.
Now, Ian Fairley came off the bench, a focal point with 4 goals in that second term.
Oh, did he? Yes, yes. Well, he sneaked on before they realised, I suppose, but Ian's trained very well during the week, and we expected him to play well. But, of course, consistency's been the problem with him, so we've got to look to next week.
Now, we saw Jim out there. What about Phil? We didn't see him there today.
Phil didn't get through the practice match against St Kilda last week. He only made to half-time, so we're a bit worried about his leg, but we'll have another go look at him this week.
Now, tremendous spirit shown by the boys, and a hard match next week against Hawthorn.
Yes, as I just said to the others, they'll be very cross after having been beaten yesterday, so we'll catch them on the rebound, but oh well, we'll see. We've got a while to go yet before next week.
Fantastic, and congratulations, and hopefully better things to come in the coming season.
Thanks, Michael.